Hi everyone, I am Krishna and I want to share you regarding one experience. Hi everyone, I am Krishna and I want to share you about my experience during one of the MBA class at UGM Jakarta. Let's start. Hi everyone, I am Krishna and I want to share you about my experience during one of the MBA class at UGM Jakarta. Let's start. As you know, even though I took MBA class, now I realize that it is not just MBA class. It is actually something else. The class name is Leadership Communication. We know leadership. Everyone talk regarding leadership. Everyone discuss leadership frequently. But do you know what is leadership actually? If we go to the direct dictionary, if we go to the library, the leadership will come out as an ability, a skill to lead, to guide, to motivate people, your team, or public to reach certain goal together. Even though everyone now regarding leadership, but actually not everyone know how they become one. Nowadays, there's a lot of class that train leadership, that everyone can learn leadership. They learn from the theory in the books. They learn from the lecturer that gives the class. But until now, history show us, even though they learn regarding leadership, not everyone that learn become a good leaders. Now it's come paradox of leadership. Why I'm thinking it become paradox? Because if we see the situation how we learn leadership, it differs with the reality. Why? Because if we learn regarding leadership, we read from the book, we listening from lecturer, we will got the definition. When we learn regarding the storm, they will give you information regarding the storm is rainy, the storm is dark, the storm is windy. When we learn regarding the fire, they will give you information that the fire is hot, the fire is red, and the fire is smoky. When we learn regarding leadership, they will give you definition regarding the people, emotion of the people, angry people, crying people. But do you feel it? Even though you learn regarding the storm, did you get wet during the learning? Do you feel burned if you touch the fire? Do you feel the pressure from the people that angry to you, that hostile to you as a leader? No. So this is the reality. This is the paradox learning of the leadership. And this is also the paradox that I'm curious how we take over this, how we break this paradox. During my searching, I didn't got the answers actually. But now I got. The answer is coming from the small classroom. Small classroom, yes. It consists of 12 people. The classroom that live only once every 2 weeks. The classroom that lead by Professor Abu. During the introduction, I already very excited. Oh, I know. I will learn regarding leadership communication. How we communicate with people. Because I thought this is the important one for the leaders. But during that beginning information, during the introduction, during the syllabus presentation from Professor Arun, I am shocked. Yes, I'm shocked. Because what she taught, what she asked us is more about the crisis. I was skeptical. Mom, we want to learn leadership communication. But you give us crisis. I didn't get the vision to become a leader. I didn't know how we grow to become a leader. But you give us, please analyze the crisis. I'm thinking, why? Then there's no option because this is mandatory class. So okay, let's go with this class. Then I'm shocked again now, because now I realize how deep is profound regarding the leadership communication, how deep is understanding regarding a leadership communication. Because in her reality, she knows very well that we cannot learn leadership just by listening. We cannot learn leadership just by reading a book. She knows that we can understand the leadership communication, the importance of the communication of leadership during the crisis. Now we know that to remembering the crisis is not just discussing regarding the crisis. We need to deep dive regarding the crisis. And during the discussion, we need to remember the theory in the reference book, the theory that she gave us. Now it's starting to connecting each other. Because during the crisis discussion, you need to deep dive the root cause. Some root cause, even though we know the solution that they create is commonly solution that we know also. But the consequences, this is also the key. We know what is the consequences if we took the wrong solution. And this is showing how good she is, because when we talk about the crisis, we know, oh, this is the consequences. A lot of the case that we discuss in the class, the consequences is not small, it's big. The journey that she give us to take is starting from the very core of the leadership, emotional intelligence, the heart, the ethos, pathos, logos. We discuss regarding how good the Jokowi connecting is interpersonally with the emotion of the people. This is how good is emotional intelligence. Because the people, the leaders, if we want to lead the people, it cannot be hollow without any emotion, because what we lead is people. We learn also the leaders during the storm, during the accident in the train, KAI company, how they react during the accident, how they goes to public during the accident, how they mitigate the accidents after the crisis. And we also know the consequences. And we goes more deeper, because we know if there are storms, we know we have the heart now, but we need to analyze, because the people that we lead is living thing. They are coming from different background. They coming from different educational background. They coming from different religion. Even the age can be different. And this is the important thing. We need to communicate with the cultural intelligence. We know how SNM become messy in South Africa. It's messy. It's big crisis. Then after we know how to do when we are become the leaders, we know how also the impact of the leaders in the to make it the high performing teams. We know how Sataman Nadella are doing in the Microsoft. We know also if the leaders become bad, very bad, like the Uber in the Kalanick crisis case, how bad your team, your company will go if the leaders showing the bad leadership. Then we go further, because after we know the crisis, after we know how to communicate during the crisis, we know how to transforming the internally, like in the go-to case, and externally during VW Dieselgate case. Then I become click. Oh my goodness, this is the long class that I really looking for, because its journey is complete from inside, how we need to become a leaders, how we communicate, how we need to treat the people, the living things, because what we lead is not non-living, what we lead is people, the livings, they have the emotion, they have the background, and how transforming our team internally and externally, the external stakeholder, or even the public itself. There's nothing else that we didn't get now. There's already complete the leadership skill that we learn. And another good thing is, during the crisis, it will show how good your leadership is. And it is also reflecting the class, because he pushed us to receive the question from the other panelists. And now it's become a live list. Because when you become a leader, you need to be live, right? It's not the crisis. It's not just the crisis that you took over. You need also to take over the audience, the stakeholders, the public. There's a lot of hostile media, the angry public that asking you questions. And during the panelist event also, there's a lot of time that the panelists didn't satisfy with your answer. They go further, they push you more to give them more better solution, more better answer. And this is the reality. Because when we become a leader and there is a crisis, sometimes and frequently when we share regarding the answer, people didn't satisfy with our answer. And this is life lesson. This is what's happening in the future when we become leaders. And this is the experience, the very good experience that we need to learn to become leaders. Even though mom or whoever, I'm not a leader, I'm just staff professional, but you are a leader for yourself. Because we know that there's no one in the world in his or her life didn't face any self-crisis. During your life, you will face many crises. Maybe life-threatening, maybe financial threatening, but maybe it's not. But you will face it. And this is what I'm thinking, oh, how good this class is. Because we discussed a lot regarding the crisis, and we learn a lot regarding the crisis, and we feel a lot regarding the crisis also. This experience, this memory that will go deeper into our heart and our mind in the future. Because when you go outside from the class, it will come the real reality. The crisis will can come in suddenly after you take out the class, or maybe 1 year or 2 years after in the future. But with this memory, that deepening in your heart, in your mind, you will facing it better. You can lead better and solve this crisis better than others. Because what we need to learn as leader candidate is experience. This is the paradox that I shared to you right before. How come we become the leaders candidate, if we just learn from the books? Because there's no experience on them. Because the leader without experience is like nothing. And the question when you want to promote to become leaders is always the experience. And this is the experience you need to take to become leaders. And after the class, I believe we are ready to become leaders. Then this is the conclusion for my experience during this small class. Because it's very deep. For me, it's not just MBA class. This is real leadership class actually that I am looking for along this journey. This is also the class leadership communication as stated in the syllabus. But it's also the crisis management class actually. And this is the class that you are very hard to find in the world. And it is also the survival class. Because the consequences that we discuss in the class can be very big, impacting a lot of the people, even life-threatening. And the last one, for me, is this is the life lesson. Everyone is a leader for him or herself. Everyone will face the crisis. Big crisis, small crisis, medium crisis, but you will face it alone. And this experience in the class that will help you, that will guide you to become a good leader, to solve it better, and become a very good leader that memorize for everyone. Thank you, Borum, from the class. You will be proud for your student. You will see them in the future to take a big decision, a big leadership in the big crisis. And you will be smiling when they doing the right action. And this is coming from your class. Thank you. I'm Wahyu Khrisna from MBA 20 Class UGM Jakarta. Thank you.